No one expected her to move like that. Not the boy holding her wheelchair handle. Not the girl recording with a glitter phone case. Not even the coach, who turned around 2 seconds too late, when Logan Mathers, captain of the 8th grade basketball team, leaned in and joked about airbags while grabbing the back of her chair. He thought it would get laughs. Instead, he got the floor. Sasha Whitaker did not punch him. She did not raise her voice. She just moved out a fluid grip on his wrist, a shift of her wheeled out a redirect. Logan went down hard, flat on his back, blinking like he had just woken from a dream. The gym fell into that kind of silence that tastes electric. Someone whispered, "Did she just?" and then trailed off. Coach Elman jogged over, and everyone waited for her to get in trouble. Sasha said nothing. She did not need to, because Omar, the quiet boy who sat 2 rows behind her in homeroom, finally stood up. She defended herself, he said. He tried to tip her chair. That was the moment everything changed. But it did not start there. Not even close. It started 2 weeks earlier, when Sasha rolled into Pine Ridge Middle School for the first time. That NO welcome committee, NO warm smiles, just tight stares, long whispers, and a school that did not seem built for her body, her speed, or her silence. She was not looking for trouble. She was just trying to survive another place that mistook her stillness for weakness. And then, someone pushed too far. The first time Sasha Whitaker rolled through the front doors of Pine Ridge Middle School, no one spoke, but everyone watched. It was not loud. Not yet. Just that heavy kind of silence that wraps itself around a new kid like a wet coat. The kind where faces say things their mouths will not. She had seen it all before. The triple take, the oh no AK blink, the 2 long stares pretending not to stare. Her mother had fastened her backpack that morning with extra care and whispered, "Baby girl, remember, you do not need to shrink just because they cannot stretch." Sasha nodded, not because she agreed, but because arguing felt more exhausting than pretending. She had cerebral palsy. Her chair was not a symbol or a prison. It was simply how she moved, the same way someone else might wear glasses or carry an inhaler. And she did not need saving. She needed space. Quiet. A hallway that was not too narrow. A desk that did not sit in isolation. But within minutes, she could feel it. This school was going to be no different from the last. Maybe worse. The front office assistant, a woman with maroon lipstick and Monday eyes, handed her a class schedule and mumbled directions to room 214. Sasha rolled in halfway through the morning announcements. The teacher, a stocky man in a mismatched tie, clapped his hands too loudly. "Class, let's give a big welcome to our new student, Sasha Whitaker." What followed was the kind of awkward hi that itched the back of your neck. She offered a half smile and made her way to the desk, already shoved into the far corner. Of course, she scanned the room. No other desks were separated like hers. Just hers. And then she saw them. The ones who would become the worst part of 3rd period. Mackenzie Sloan. High ponytail, high-volume opinions. Smirking from behind a stack of glitter gel pens. Logan Mathers. Varsity hoodie, empty gaze. Laughed too easily, like everything was a joke. And Nolan Price. Buzz cut, bad energy. His fake concerned face made her skin crawl. They watched her like she was a glitch in their program. A challenge to the way they liked their world. Untouched and unbothered, Sasha stayed blank. That was her trick. No reaction, no expression, no satisfaction. The day crawled. She spent 10 minutes stuck at her locker until someone walked over. A tall, quiet boy with a sketch pad under one arm that he did not say much. Just reached out, twisted the knob, and stepped back. Sasha blinked. "Thanks," she said. He nodded once. "It sticks." That was it. But he did not flinch when her wheel grazed his sneaker. He did not tilt his head or speak slow like she was. 5. His name tag read. Ezra Mendoza. It was the first normal moment of the day. By 7th period. Sasha had cataloged the school layout like a survival map. Which ramps worked, which doors jammed, which bathrooms were usable, were not to get trapped. What she had not mapped yet were the people. That would take longer, but her gut already knew. This place was full of circles she would never be invited into. By the end of week 1, Sasha knew every survival route inside Pine Ridge Middle. She could steer her chair through the east wing faster than most kids could walk. She avoided the staircase cluster near the science wing, took the longer ramp by the gym, and never used the second-floor girls' restroom. The stall doors swung inward, and the sinks were too high to reach. She moved like someone who had learned the hard way that space, not kindness, was the thing she needed most. But even with all her planning, she had no defense against people. It started small. A shove in the hallway that came with a too sweet oops. Mackenzie, brushing past her like Sasha had rolled into her path on purpose. Or Logan, tossing a crumpled paper ball that landed square in her lap. Free throw, he grinned, holding up imaginary applause. And Nolan, with his signature half-smile, and louder than needed questions. Do you beep when you back up? Asking for a friend. The laughs were never full volume, just sharp enough to sting and quiet enough to be ignored by adults. Even the teachers fell for it. The way they spoke to her made her skin itch, slow, deliberate, like they were always afraid she might break from a regular question. Do you want help turning the page? No, Mrs. Calhoun, she would reply flatly. I am not 98. She had stopped eating in the cafeteria by Tuesday. Too many eyes. Too many people offering help she did not ask for. Napkins she did not drop. Juice boxes she did not spill. She started going to the library instead. Ms. Riley, the librarian, asked no questions. Just nodded once and let her park by the graphic novel section. That corner, page by page, became a kind of escape. The heroes in those stories were always underestimated. Until they weren't. Still, even fiction could only carry her so far. The cafeteria was unavoidable that Thursday. Her library pass had been left in her math notebook, and the media center doors were already locked. So she rolled in late, eyes down, hoping to disappear. She found a quiet table near the vending machines. No one around, no strings attached. Unwrapped her peanut butter sandwich. Pulled out her headphones. Tried to shrink the moment. It lasted 5 minutes. Then came the tray slam. Too loud. Too close. Didn't know you still attended classes with the rest of us, Mackenzie said, sliding into the chair across from her like they were old friends. Sasha did not answer. She had learned long ago that silence stung more than words. Is it true you live in some kind of group home? Mackenzie's voice was sugar-coated, but her eyes were sharp. No, Sasha replied flatly. Mackenzie leaned in, faux whispering. Because I heard your grandpa was, like, a kung fu janitor or something? Sasha looked at her. Really looked. He was a martial artist. A real one. Logan and Nolan arrived like punchlines waiting to land. Logan dropped a milk carton right next to her drink. What are you gonna do? Karate chop me with your joystick. The table nearby snickered. Nolan chimed in. Louder. Maybe if she could walk, she'd actually have something to say. That one hit harder than it should have. Not because it was true. It was not. But because it was calculated that he knew exactly where to aim. Sasha's hand tightened under the table. Fingers curled. Breath slowed. Something stirred. Mackenzie flicked the edge of her sandwich off the wrapper. Oops. Sasha did not flinch. She wheeled back. Picked up the food. Dropped it in the trashed, scene. No meltdown. But something had cracked. That night, the house was too quiet. Her mother, Camille Whitaker, was folding laundry on the couch when Sasha rolled in. Rough day? Camille asked without looking up. Sasha shrugged. Just tired. Camille hesitated, then said gently, You know, baby, people like that, they only laugh at what they do not understand. I do not want to be understood, Sasha muttered. I want to be left alone. Camille exhaled, walked over, and tucked a curl behind Sasha's ear. They don't get to define you. You're not invisible just because they refuse to see you. Sasha wanted to believe her. She really did. But her chest felt tight and hollow at the same time. Later that night, she sat in the living room, half watching a rerun. The scene was quick. A character deflects a punch. Quick pivot. Elbow turn, and Sasha's arm twitched. Not pain. Memory. She looked at her hand. The way her fingers curled. Too familiar. She remembered the garage, the low voice of her grandfather, Jalen Whitaker. Breathe. Then move. If they reach here, you shift there. Balance isn't in your legs. It's in your breath. She used to think they were just playing, but her body remembered. That night, she wheeled into the garage. Dust hung in the air like old secrets. The punching bag still hung in the corner, faded initials on the bottom, JW. She reached for it. Point one. Strike. Then another. Then faster. Her vision blurred, but she was not crying from sadness. It was something else. Something rising. The gym smelled like floor polish and old sneakers. The kind of air that stuck to your skin and whispered blend in or get noticed. Sasha hated gym. Not because she could not play, she could, but because Coach Dunley had a habit of calling free rotation, which meant dodgeballs, jump ropes, and social chaos disguised as activity. She stayed near the bleachers, out of the way, eyes low. Her sketchpad rested in her lap, though her pencil never moved. She felt the energy shift before she saw them. Logan and Nolan, hovering by the water fountain. Mackenzie on the bench, phone angled low like she was already recording something. Sasha adjusted her wheels slightly, pressure in her chest. Not fear exactly. Not anymore. Something sharper. Older. Coach Dunley had his back turned, fixing the volleyball net. Then it started. Logan called across the court. Hey Sasha, you ever tried shooting a basket? Or is that off limits too? She ignored him. Nolan stepped in closer, smirking. Come on, you want to be part of the class, right? Or are you just here for the Wi-Fi? Laughter. Not all, but enough to echo. Then Logan moved. Too fast, too close. Watch this, he muttered. His hand reached for the side of her chair. The handle he started tipping her backward, not playfully, not joking, like she was an object. A joke. But Sasha did not scream. She moved. Her right hand shot out, gripping his wrist hard, her left will locked. Then, a pivot. Her weight shifted, her forearm rose, and suddenly, Logan was stumbling forward, off balance, crashing to the mat with a thud. Silence. Then the sound of a phone clattering to the floor. Nolan took a step back, eyes wide. Yo, did you just flip him? Sasha looked down at her own hands, shaking, panic, only breath. Still, controlled, Coach Dunley jogged over. What's going on here? She grabbed me. She threw me. Logan barked, red-faced and scrambling to his feet. Before Sasha could speak, another voice cut in. She defended herself, Ezra said. Clear, calm, loud enough for everyone to hear. Coach blinked. That true? Sasha did not answer. She did. Not half the dot. A few other students nodded. Someone whispered. He tried to tip her chair. Mackenzie lowered her phone. Coach's expression shifted. Logan, principal's office. Now. But. Now. Or I roll the gym footage. Logan stormed off, Nolan trailing behind him, suddenly quieter than usual. Sasha stayed still, heart beating steady. Her hands were warm, but not shaking. Ezra stepped closer. Where'd you learn that? She gave a small smile. My grandfather used to say, move like water. Don't let the wave knock you. Ezra grinned. Cooler than my grandpa. And just like that, something had shifted. Not everything, but something. The garage no longer felt like storage space. It felt like memory. Muscle. Legacy. Sasha rolled in just after dinner, still wearing her hoodie and gym pants. The soles of her gloves slightly worn from earlier. The old punching bag hung in the corner, swaying lightly as if it had been waiting for her. She faced it, not with fire this time, not with rage in her chest, but with breath, strike, pivot, pause, control. Each motion came cleaner than the last. Not perfect, but honest. Her body did not flinch anymore. It remembered, and more than that, it belonged in that moment. She was not a girl in a chair. She was her grandfather's student. She was her grandfather's heir. He had never said she needed to be strong. He had just taught her how to recognize the strength that was already there. The door creaked behind her. Her mom, Camille, stepped inside slowly, holding something wrapped in a faded pillowcase. She stood silently for a moment before speaking. He left this for you. Told me not to give it to you until the time was right. Sasha paused, then wheeled forward. Her hands reached for the bundle, unwrapping it layer by layer, until soft black fabric folded into her lap. A GI. Faded, but strong, the stitching at the bottom edge read one word in silver thread. Stillness. Her throat tightened and tucked inside the collar. A letter. Camille rested a hand on her shoulder, then left without saying anything else. Sasha unfolded the paper. Her grandfather's handwriting was shaky but steady. Sasha, you are not broken. You are not less. You are more. The world may not see it now, but you will. And when you do, teach someone else. That's how we stay alive. She read it twice, then held it against her chest until the paper warmed from her heartbeat. It was never about revenge. It was never even about fighting. It was about knowing. The next few days at school came with new textures. People still looked at her, but something and their stares had shifted. No more mockery. No more giggles just out of earshot. Some looked away now, unsure. Others nodded quietly, like respect had finally registered. Mackenzie stopped talking when Sasha rolled by. Even Nolan stared at his shoes during third period. The whispers were still there, but the jokes had dried up, because you cannot make someone a punchline once they have taken control of their story. The teachers noticed it too. Ms. Calhoun asked gently if she needed emotional counseling support after the incident. Sasha raised a brow and replied, "No, but maybe Logan does." And there was Ezra. He started joining her in the library some days. Not to talk, just to sketch. He drew hands, movement, flow. One day he handed her a page. It was a pencil drawing of her striking the punching bag at the bottom. He had written, "Move like water. Don't let the wave knock you." Sasha smiled, not for the compliment, but because someone else had seen her. Not the chair, not the disability. Her. She still trained in the garage, every night. Quiet, focused, not for show, not for clout, for center, for memory, for her. And every time she struck the bag, it echoed like his voice, not loud, but powerful. Friday morning came with gray skies and the low buzz of the weekly school assembly. The auditorium at Westbridge Middle smelled like old carpet and cheap fruit snacks. Students shuffled to their seats, half listening, half scrolling. Sasha rolled in near the back, same black hoodie, same quiet posture. She did not expect much, she never did. Principal Whitman adjusted the mic at center stage. Her stack of note cards trembled slightly in her hand. "We'd like to recognize a few students this week," she began, "for their acts of courage, leadership, and integrity." The air barely shifted. Then came the name, Sasha Hart. The auditorium paused. Some students looked up. Others leaned forward, for showing calm strength under pressure and reminding us that power does not always shout. Sometimes it moves with grace. Applause. At first, polite, then real, from across the room. From kids who had never spoken to her. From Ezra, clapping with both palms flat and a smile that said, "Told you." Sasha nodded once. Not a big smile. Just enough. Just real. Her mother was in the back row, standing beside the guidance counselor. Camille wiped a tear so fast it could have been imagined. Later that day, Coach dumbly flagged Sasha down near the staff lounge. He looked awkward, like he was not sure where to put his hands. "I was talking to Ms. Calhoun and Principal Whitman," he said. "We're starting a self-defense club for kids who feel overlooked. I wanted to ask if you'd co-lead it." Sasha blinked. "Me?" Coach chuckled. "You think I'm going to teach them how to pivot from a chair?" She laughed. Softly, the real kind. "Yeah, okay," she said. "I'd like that." By Monday, the school felt different. Not new, but shifted. Mackenzie kept her head down. Nolan moved to a different lunch table. The stares still came, but not from the same place. Not pity, not curiosity, respect. That afternoon, Sasha went home, pulled the black GI from her closet, and slid it on. Still smelled like cedar and oil. Still felt like him. Jalen Hart. She rolled into the garage, placed her phone on a small stand, and hit record. Not for likes, not for revenge, but for someone else out there who might be thinking their body was the problem. She looked into the lens. Steady and calm. "My name is Sasha Hart. I have cerebral palsy. I use a wheelchair. And I was bullied, ignored, underestimated. And I am still here. Stronger now. Not because I stood up, but because I stopped believing I had to." She paused, then added, soft but clear, "If they laugh at you, let them. Just know one thing. They do not get to write your story. You do." She uploaded it. Without a hashtag. No caption. It did not need one. The following Monday unfolded like most others. Hallway chatter, locker slams. The low hum of kids trying to act cooler than they felt. Sasha rolled down the corridor near the vending machines. Hoodie sleeves pushed up, her knuckles still marked faintly from last night's training. She had not planned on being noticed. She never did. But someone tapped her will gently. It was a 6th grader. Maybe 11. Same make of wheelchair. Same tight grip on the rims. Same guarded eyes. T looked up, almost afraid to ask, "Are you the girl from the video?" Sasha paused, then tilted her head with a smile. "Depends. Did you like it?" The kid nodded fast, his voice barely a whisper. "You made me think. Maybe I don't have to let people mess with me anymore." She held out a fist. He bumped it. Grinning. "You don't," she said gently. You just have to know where your power is and never give it away. They rolled in opposite directions to N.O. dramatic music. No slow clap, just real movement. Quiet power. That night, the video she had recorded was still getting shares. Not viral, not loud, but enough. Sasha sat in the garage again, the GI folded beside her. She looked into the lens of her phone and recorded one more clip, voice steady, words slow. If you are watching this and you have ever felt invisible, underestimated, or judged for something you cannot change, just remember, you are not less. You are not broken. You are more. She let the silence breathe, then added, they do not get to write your story. You do. Then she hit upload and went back to training.